Islam came as a system to build the human being. Not only to build the human being, but to perfect the building of the human being. People, scientists, have all kinds of theories about how do we build the human being. From external, how do we make that human being perfect? External motives or internal motives? Which motives shape the human being to make it a perfect creation? So, people said, no need for the deen. Law and social regulations are enough. That's external. So in other words, the human being will shape their behavior. They will perfect themselves because of the law and because of what the social implication of their behavior may be. And therefore, we have seen a rapid advancement in technology and science, as you all know, in the past years. In fact, what we have of technology and science today cannot even be compared to what we had 20 years ago. It was inconceivable 20 or 100 years ago to have what we have today of technology and science. But mind you, along with that very rapid advancement in science and technology, that has not always correlated with an advancement in spirituality. On the contrary, we see that rapid advancement in what we call civilization, and I quote unquote, hadara, civilization, it seems that civilization as we call it today almost lacks purposely the aspect of spirituality out of it. It leaves it out because as we have called civilization a matter or a collection of materialistic things. Okay? Therefore, people judge things based on the logic and the reason. Oh, this is not right, this is right. Should not do that, you should do that. Why don't you do this? Because it's illegal. Or that's not right to do because social implications dictate as such. Sigmund Freud, the Austrian psychiatrist, or psychologist if you want to call him, Freud, known. He came up with this idea, if somebody can hold the children, the reason is because I don't prepare what I say, and I have such a weak concentration abilities. It's my weakness, not your weakness. So if there's lots of noises, then it disturbs my train of thought. صلوا على رسول الله وآله. And another one, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وآل سيدنا محمد. And a third one also, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وآله. Freud, for example, in order to try to understand how do we build the human being, he said, well, the human being, in the intellect of the human being, there are three sides. There's the id, the ego, and the superego. The id is the pleasure principle. What does that mean? I want. Al-Islam wants to educate us. Al-Islam put desire within the self. We all have desires. And Al-Islam wants you to fulfill your desire, but in the right way. But the self wants to always get that desire satisfied regardless of the way. That's what the id does. The id is based on the pleasure principle. I am not affirming the division of Freud. I'm just giving an example, okay? Not affirming or denying. Let's put it this way. The id wants you to collect money. Yourself wants you to collect money. Halal, haram, it doesn't make any difference. I want more money in my bank account. Get me more money now. So therefore, you see people, for the sake of satisfying that desire of having a bigger and bigger saving and checking and money, they would do anything and everything. they would collect from here, from there. If they would have to cheat people, they would, to get more money. If they have to lie to people, they would, to get more money. For the sake of money, people kill people, as you all know. Because that desire is blind. It wants you to satisfy it. It's an addictive desire that requires addictive satisfaction and serious satisfaction and blindness to it. Pleasure principle. The only way you can be pleased if you have more. The ego, according to Freud, is the reality principle, which means what? It's the part of your brain that says, okay, you know what, you want to collect money, that's fine with me, I have no problem. But listen, if you steal, you might go to jail. So you figure out, you balance out your sheets. You want to steal, but make sure you don't get caught. Because if you do get caught, you'll go to jail. The superego is the morality principle, is the perfection. Is the one that tells you, you know what, stealing and collecting money just for the sake of collecting money from right and left and wrong and haram and halal, that is not a good thing. Cheating people for the sake of looking that you're good or making yourself, for the sake of your building your personality and all these things, that's not good. Stepping over people's emotions and principles for the sake of satisfying what you think is right, that is not good. The superego is the one that builds these things in you, and it is contrary to the id. But people often have been able to ignore the superego aside. Al-Islam wants you to, if I may use this metaphorically, to make sure that the superego is ignited within you. In other words, not that your behaviors are shaped by external motives because it's the law and because it's what society feels acceptable or not, but because Allah is observing you, and that's an inner motive that is always with you no matter where you are, even if no one is able to see you and you know Allah is. And therefore Sahl ibn Abdullah al-Tustari من علماء الصوفية رضي الله